Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name's Andrew Dika, and today I'm proud to be joined by Ebony Cotton. Ebony, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, and we finally got this interview done. Um, where did the desire come from to become a professional boxer and get into the sport of boxing?
Truthfully, I grew up a dancer, so I was a professional dancer growing up. So there wasn't really an intention to get into boxing, should we say, and suicide when I was living in Australia. And at the time, I had been doing CrossFit in Tasmania. And as I was leaving to move back to Sydney, my coach said to me, like, Ebony, please don't stop moving. And he suggested that I go and meet up with his friend, which was Luke Jackson. So I did, and the first time I ever put gloves on was in Coogee Park, and I remember feeling something for the first time in a long time. Um, and it was just almost a turning moment in my healing journey. And I fell in love with it. It became an obsession. It became the one thing that I needed more than I ever realized.
And you talk about that. Was there many inspirations growing up, not only in boxing, but in your life? Did you ever look up to a singer? Did you ever look up to an actor? Was there any boxers like George Kambosos or even Jared Patayo across the pond? Who'd you look up to?
I mean, yeah, like of course, like respectfully now that like boxing is a huge part of my life, like female boxers for me, like I remember saying in my last interview, Katie Taylor has always been the goat for me, you know. um, but yeah, I like in regards to did I have any like people that I looked up to outside of boxing? Absolutely. I had many strong women in my life. My mom is a very strong woman, and I don't even think she realizes just how strong she is. But in regards to boxing, yeah, like I could sit here all day and talk to you about all of the boxers that I aspire to be like, or at least love to watch. But yeah, inspiration's probably my mom and a few people around me.
And let's talk about that there. You mentioned the suicide and the mental health. Obviously, Tyson Fury is a massive advocate for mental health in boxing. Do you feel like was he one of the first people to make it noted that you're not alone? You're not the only one because people that suffer with mental health issues, they feel like they're alone. They feel like it's just them and the whole world's against them. What helped you? Was it boxing? Because I see a quote on an article that boxing saved your life.
Yeah, it did. I remember. So you just said, people speaking out about it. So for me, box gave me a purpose again, and that was to just kind of reiterate what you just said about what Tyson Fury was saying recently with Ricky Hatton and all the work he did. It's that this sport and any martial art has so many links scientific psychologically between the sport and mental health. And so for me the purpose became like to show people that there's more. For me it's always been about like having the opportunity to say to people, hey, there is light after darkness, you just need to hold on. And yeah, that's why I do it.
And do you think, God rest his soul, with what's happened with Ricky most recently, he was meant to fight in December, whether it's an addiction to drugs, to alcohol, does this kind of show and give the world when someone who was a world champion, someone who was, and Tyson says it himself, I'm the heavyweight world champion of the world. When you look at that, you shouldn't be suffering. You should be a tough guy. You should be a strong man. Does it show even more for men to come out? Because I believe, and it's same with everyone. I believe they say girls have their circle, girls have girls to talk to, but men don't have anyone. So does it show a little bit more about talking out and opening up?
um I think what it particularly highlights is that mental health doesn't discriminate, and therefore whatever stigma may be attached to that feels like, if anything, what Ricky's story and many others have shown is that, hey, you're not alone. Like, don't ever feel like you can't tell someone. You know, the reality of life, we had someone to lean on.
And talk about your amateur career.
Hi, Jim.
Did you have an amateur career? Because I couldn't find anything online.
Oh, yeah. So I fought in Australia, then I fought over here, and then I had a couple of white collars over here as well.
Nice. And what was your would you say, what was your personal highlight and what was your biggest achievement in the amateurs?
I think for me, that you'll never forget the first time you fight. Like that was the most special moment. Like you dedicate every single day of your life, right, to becoming to this moment and getting the opportunity then to see all your hard work. Like I'll never forget that moment. Um, that pride as well.
And talk about your professional debut earlier this year. How did that feel?
It felt like I was on the way to achieving the goals that I set for myself and to proving what I know I can do.
And November 29th, live on Dazn in Birmingham, you fight Molly McCann in a second professional bout, also your second professional bout, so that's kind of cool. Do you know much about Molly? Have you seen her in the UFC? Did you watch her last fight? What did you make of her and how did you beat her?
I have the utmost respect for Molly and her career. I'll be really honest, I don't really know much about the UFC, but I certainly would never take away that respect. But as I said before, the fight that's coming up is something that I intend to shock everyone with.
And talk about it there. She's come over to boxing. You've been in boxing for the last few years of your life. Do you think there's a difference when MMA fighters switch over to boxing, boxers switch over to MMA? So do you feel, although she's the A side on the poster, do you feel like you're the favorite in this one?
Uh, Look, I'm sure that everyone will have their opinion, and everyone is entitled to that. My personal Of course, there's differences, as with every sport. You know, if I went over to MMA, I'm sure that I would have to learn things that I'd never done before. And so, do I think there's a difference? Absolutely. Do I think I'm the favorite? I don't care, but I know what I'm there to do.
And how do you win this fight? Do you win it with your boxing? Do you win it by knockout? Do you win it on points? How do you win it?
Doing, oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, I'm just
No, that's
sat in
okay.
the car.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, that
can you see
works.
me?
Yeah,
Oh.
the brightness on your phone works. Maybe the car's gone out.
Um, yeah, I don't know why that's gone off. Probably been in here long. Um, how do I win this fight? Watch on the 29th and you'll find out.
And how proud do you feel from turning over to now fighting live on the zone worldwide, globally?
Um, I guess I guess in life, right, we all have these goals and we all have these aims. And like I said about the debut, you know, it was another step in the direction that I always knew I was going to go and that I made a promise to myself to go. So again, this is another step in that direction for me. And it is just the first of many.
And what is your message to young kids, girls, women especially, and boys and men to get into the sport of boxing and for what you're doing to inspire them, to become an inspiration?
So boxing is for everyone. You don't have to necessarily get into boxing to fight. Boxing's there to offer you a safe space, whether that's just from being outside or whether that's to create a community and make lots of friends. It doesn't matter what you do it for, there's a place for you and there's a little home in a boxing gym.
And penultimate message, just before I let you go, what's your one motivational message for everyone to block out the outside noise, block out the hate, block out the negativity, and follow and pursue their dreams?
Be you. God only created one of you for a reason. Every single one of you is unique. Be yourself. Don't be scared to be you.
Before I let you go, sell the fight. Molly McCann versus Ebony Cotton, 29th November in Birmingham.
Time to shock the world. Make sure you tune in and find out how. I just want to say thank you for your support to every single one of you.
Ebony Cotton, God bless. And November 29th, ready to shock the world. Take care.
Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for your time.